Hey everybody, this is a bit of a response to Zaranyzerak, Sean McLean's last video where he talked about, basically answered the question, could Transformers Generation 1 ever be released on Blu-ray? And the truth is, I've always felt that it could be, and I do agree with what you said, Sean, on how it can be done. But I'm pretty sure, like you said, by the time it would ever happen, Blu-ray would be basically a niche deal. In other words, the next evolution in disc home entertainment would already be evolving at that moment, if not already. So, yeah, it could be done on Blu-ray. I mean, take a look. It's already been streamed. It's being converted to a streaming option to where technically you could watch it on your iPhones, your iPods, your Androids, whatever, or even on your computer through things like Netflix. So that's a possibility there. As well as you could download it through your store, your PlayStation stores, your Xbox Live stores, video stores, if you will. You can purchase it that way and watch it that way. So it is possible for them to be on Blu-ray if they can be streamed and converted to the point that you can actually order them or buy them as individual, if not complete seasons, on things like Xbox Live and PlayStation, and stream them on things like Netflix. So it is possible. It is very, very possible for that to happen, but like you said, by the time it would probably happen, Blu-ray may end up going into a niche deal, into a situation where it's niche. And basically, it'd be something that's more along the lines of, how do you say, it'd basically be along the lines of a niche deal, but basically along the lines that I mentioned earlier, to the point that by the time it would probably happen, the next evolution in home entertainment, physically, disc-wise, would already be done, or already be evolving, if not currently already being developed. If not already being evolved in Japan, we just don't know of it yet. But you kind of get what I'm saying. But again, I've always thought that it could be Blu-ray, but I believe, and Sean, I think you know this part better than anyone, I truly believe that it can be done, but basically, like you said, all they'd probably do, if they wanted to do a Blu-ray release, especially with the 30th anniversary upcoming, what they would probably do is just convert. They basically just transfer, and if not, slightly up the bit and the resolution, just slightly, on the broadcast masters that have been used on the Shout Factory DVD releases, and then put them onto Blu-ray. That's the only way they can do it. If they just turn up the bit rate just a bit and the high resolution a bit, it'd be fine. I mean, and technically, you don't really need just to worry about Blu-ray. I mean, if you got the set like I do, I got the 15 disc set, so I'm happy to have that, as well as I have the Rhino set. And I have the Headmaster, and I have the Japanese trilogy, as well as the movies. But anyway, what I'm saying is, if you really want to watch them in 1080p, in high resolution, high definition, all you need is an HDMI cable, a DVD player with HDMI input, or input and output, if not a Blu-ray with the same thing, put the disc in there, and there you go. All you'd have to do is go to the HDMI option on your television where you have it plugged into your DVD or Blu-ray, and there you go. You have high definition, full screen Transformers, and it's all from the DVD that you already own. But again, I get where you're coming from, because a lot of people have this fascination with Blu-ray. They have this fascination with Blu-ray because it's supposed to be better than standard definition. Hell, it blew HD DVD out of the water. So it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be crisper, cleaner. And I get that. And as you have mentioned before, the only way certain things could be upped a bit, if you will, from standard broadcast is to up it just a bit for Blu-ray. Just up the bit rate, just a bit, up the high resolution, or the resolution a bit, and there you go. Just sharpen the image a bit, whatever you want to do, equalize it, whatever it takes, boom, there you go. I mean, heck, when I use the onlineconverter.com to convert a picture that I would download, like I recently downloaded the preview cover for Sonic Super Special Magazine number 9, issue 9. So people could get a better look at what the redesigns of the SatAM characters would look like. I upped it basically from 5 to 5,000 by 5,000, and basically I equaled it and I sharpened it, if you will, and it looks good. It looks clearer, much more crisper, and that's basically all you have to do. Is just up. All they have to do is just up it bit rate wise and resolution wise, and there you go. That's the best you could probably do. Just up it a bit. You know, you can't just say, okay, we're going to convert them, really transfer them, really let them make nice. No, you can only up them a bit. That's it. You can only up them just by bit, like you said, by bit rate and resolution, and that's it. You can't do a full Blu-ray restoration, a full restoration for Blu-ray, unless you have the 35mm work prints, which they probably do of all seasons. But again, I don't think Shout Factory or whoever else would take over later down the line would be like, yeah, we could do that, but nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We'll just put all the episodes on the 4 or 5 discs. We'll just up the bit rate a bit. There you go. Up the bit rate and resolution a bit. There you go. And that's it. And it can work. It works. I mean, when I do my fan vids, I start out, I notice a big difference. And let me explain. I notice a big difference when I do my fan vids. When I originally did them, I did them in 480 and later on 720. But when I started doing 1080 with them, I noticed a big difference. Not only was the picture in the image more sharper and cleaner, but the resolution was better. It was. The image was sharper, it was cleaner, and the picture was, well, basically the picture and the picture, video, or scan, or downloaded pic, or whatever, they were all more crisper and cleaner and more high quality. It was basically the high def quality that Blu-ray is advertised for, that 1080p Blu-ray is advertised for. Even 4K, if you will, is advertised for. That's how good it looked. I mean, when I did my Someday fan vid for Tailspin, I did that in complete, I created it in 480, and then when I came to rendering it, I rendered it in 1080p, M2T file, and boom. Not only is the picture a little wider, but you could definitely tell the big change. You could definitely tell that the color was up a bit, the resolution was up a bit, the bit rate was up a bit. Everything looked crisper and cleaner, but it still looked the same as before. It was just, you could tell it was cleaner, that the bit rate and the resolution was up a bit. You know, again, like I said, it still looked the same. It still looked like the same as I would watch it on television. It was just upped a bit. That's all. When I used the onlineconverter.com to convert the Run With Us music video by Lisa Lohan for the Raccoons, which came out around the time Raccoons and the Lost Star was released. When I did that, you could tell not only was, and when I converted that to 1080. And you could tell just right off the bat, check it out on my channel, you'll see it. You could tell the big difference between the original and the high definition version. I mean, this is why a lot of people, when they upload clips, if not shorts, if not live action or animated shorts or clips from various media on the YT or the DM or Blip, the reason sometimes you always see in apostrophes or in hash marks HD in the title. It's because they basically converted the original file either using something like onlineconvert.com or Sony Vegas or whatever program they use to convert the file into high definition. Yeah, it's still boxed in, you could tell, but they basically converted it to high definition, and by doing so, you could tell it's a little crisper and cleaner. It's still the same, but you can tell that it's crisper and cleaner just by bit. You can tell that the bit rate and the resolution has been upped a bit, has been cranked up just by a bit, and that's all. You can tell that. And that's the point that I'm trying, and I know that's the point you've been trying to make with not just Transformers, but with a lot of shows. It doesn't matter if the show is, it doesn't matter how good the show is. The only way it's going to get on Blu-ray is by basically just transferring it from DVD to Blu-ray, and basically by doing so, just converting the bit rate and the resolution rate by just by a few bits. Just by cranking it up by maybe a few bits or something like that, and that's it. That's all you're going to get. And that is why I said in various videos, Sean, that you don't really need to do that. All you need, Sean, if you will, is this right here, which is an HDMI, connected right there, which is an HDMI to something like this, which is a DVD player. And all you have to do, as I have mentioned, all you have to do is just, that HDMI output's on the side, or input's on the side. So all I have to do is go to HDMI side on my television, on my controller, go to HDMI side, and there you go. I can watch things like, let's say, for example, hold on. That's why, for example, I could watch things like Sonic Sat-AM, if you will, or even Wildcats in high definition because I have the HDMI output. Now, is the HDMI output, does it make it look as good as it would be on Blu-ray? Not really. Well, in a way, yes. It all depends on who animates it. Dick Entertainment did a great job on this show, so when I put it on, when I play it on my DVD player, on the DVD player here, and I watch it in the HDMI, and I use the HDMI source and watch it in 1080p, it looks good. And the picture's completely stretched out. It looks nice. It fills up just about the entire screen. The same thing with Wildcats. Fills out the entire screen. That's basically what it is. Basically, the picture gets sharpened up a bit. Basically what it is the signal, and again, it's just like if you were to transfer this from the DVD. It's like if you were to transfer this from its DVDs, from the DVD to a Blu-ray, from the DVD disc to a Blu-ray disc. Yeah, that's. If you were to take that DVD disc, it'd be just like if you took the episodes off that DVD disc, the episodes and features off there, and put it onto a Blu-ray disc. That's basically what HDMI does. The signal transfers it as if it's transferring the signals as if you're already transferring from DVD to Blu-ray. It transfers it to the point that the signal, the picture and the sound will look a little crisper, a little sharper, and sound nicer. And it'll basically also fill out the screen. I'll give you another example. recently I used Windows DVD Maker to finally DVD a majority, except for maybe 2 or 3 episodes from the first season, but a majority of the Beatle cartoons from the 1960s. And when I would play them on here, on this thing here, in HDMI, it fills out the entire screen. The whole show, intro and everything, fills out the entire screen. It looks crisper and cleaner. And basically, like I said, it's like already transferring. It's basically like you're transferring a DVD disc and everything on it to Blu-ray. That's basically what HDMI does. So, again, Sean, getting back to your point, yeah, I totally agree with you that, yeah, it could be Blu-ray, but basically all they'd be doing is exactly what an HDMI cable does. Just transferring everything off the DVD onto Blu-ray. The only exception, as you have pointed out, is they could take something like Wildcats, which is a, what is it? "13-episode show," and they, with Blu-ray, heck, they could put it on one disc, and that's it. The same with Sonic Satayam. This is 26 episodes. They could do the same thing, one disc. And like you said, when you take a look at the 15 to 16 discs there that we get, the 16 to 15 discs that we got with Transformers from Shout Factory, like you said, if they wanted to do Blu-ray, 4 or 5 discs, just like that, no problem, because it would help out. And even with the transferring onto, even with the transferring onto Blu-rays, which would onto lesser disc, in this case Blu-rays, even with the transfer of all 98 episodes onto 4 or 5 discs, on the 4 or 5 Blu-rays, all they'd have to do, as you have mentioned, is up the bit rate and the resolution. Just like if they were to do one disc release, Blu-ray release of these, just up the bit rate and everything. But again, all they would be doing is doing exactly what an HDMI cable does. And I think that's what a lot of people have to understand, Sean. If they have HDMI with a Blu-ray or a DVD player, and they have an HD television with HDMI in it, with an HDMI output, basically maybe 2 or 3 HDMI outputs, then they have no problem. They have no problem there. They have no problem because basically the picture would look just as nice. Basically that's what HDMI cable does. And that, Sean, just to add a little insight there to your great series, is exactly all they'd have to do. I mean, if you were to get an HD television, Sean, down the line, Sean, if you were to get an HD television down the line, all you'd have to do is get an HDMI cable, hook it up to your PlayStation, if you will, hook it up to your PlayStation, then hook that HDMI over to your TV, there you go. And then let's say you would take this, one of these discs of Sonic, or let's say one of your Transformer DVDs, put it in, boom, there you go. You'd have high def right there. That's basically what they would be doing. But again, do I agree that it could be done? If they just wanted to do Blu-ray? Of course. But all they'd be doing, Sean, is just basically doing what an HDMI cable does. Simple as that. So hopefully this response helped you out a little bit, Sean. And, on behalf of everybody, appreciate what you're doing. Hopefully you can get to the Transformer movies, the animated ones, if you will. I would like to see what you think about those. And, but again, like I said, all Blu-ray, everybody that's wanting a Blu-ray, yeah, you guys don't have to worry about that. If you got an HDMI cable, an HDMI outputs, if you will, or inputs on your HD TV, as well as on your DVD player or Blu-ray, you don't have to worry about it, because basically by putting one of those DVDs into your HDMI DVD player, which would be connected to your HD TV, you basically get what you would want on Blu-ray, because that's basically what an HDMI cable does. You know, because that's basically what Blu-ray, a transfer to Blu-ray is. Just basically doing what HDMI cable does. So that's all I'm going to say in response to you, Sean. Thank you for doing these videos, and I'll talk to you later. You guys got any response, any video comments if you want, let me know down below. But hopefully this response helped out a lot, and I'll talk to you later.